Hey, good afternoon. I'm Lorenzo.
And I'm Robert Hernandez.
And welcome to episode 6 of The Power of Commercial Printing.
Today we're standing in our Sheetfed room in front of our Sheetfed 10-color Komori perfecting press. This is a UV LED press, latest technology from Komori. And the advantage of this press being that it has 5 units, a perfector unit which actually flips the paper, 5 additional units, is that we could print both sides of the sheet at the same time in one pass. This is very efficient for longer runs and gives us an effective method of printing work faster and turning it around faster in a more cost-efficient manner. Here we're standing in front of our Komori 6-color with coater Sheetfed press.
So this 6-color press is our sister press to the 10-color perfector that we just talked about. As you can see, it has 6 units for your CMYK, plus 2 PMS colors or a metallic ink. It also has the finishing unit there for our aqueous coaters or UV. It also has the LED ink canisters on the top that make it a very clean and very efficient press.
Sorry for the noise here. We are in our web offset department where we house our 2 Komori web offset presses.
Behind us we have our 5-unit and 6-unit Komori 38-inch web presses.
Stay tuned for episode 6 podcast, which will cover Sheetfed and web differences in our world.
Check us out.
Hello everybody, I'm Robert Hernandez, Vice President with Solo Printing.
And I'm Lorenzo Cozio, your senior or seasoned account executive here at Solo Printing.
So welcome back. We took a couple months off, not from work, but from the podcast. Give everybody a little bit of a summer break while the travels were going on. So we're back at it now and hope to be pushing through the end of the year with roughly 1 a month. So today's topic is kind of something based on our core, which is web offset printing and Sheetfed printing. So that's our bread and butter, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of how Solo started and what we've thrived on for 40 years now, which we make 40 years next August, which is a big milestone for us. So high level kind of differences. I mean, a basic difference between Sheetfed and web. Web runs on big rolls of paper, kind of picture a huge roll of toilet paper, kind of, but we don't run toilet paper. Right. And Sheetfeds run on sheets, actually cut sheets. So that's kind of the very basic difference. I mean, there's a lot more differences that we'll kind of get into as this podcast goes on. So I'll let Lorenzo chime in a little.
Yeah, that's those are the big main differences, is the rolls versus the sheets. But as you'll see, and as we talk about, a lot of those things, the quality of the web printing, the quality of the web printing that we have coming off our Komori presses is a high level, high quality, commercial grade printing. So the difference is, back in the day when it first started, web printing was always considered kind of a lower level printing, and it's not. It's as high or it's exceeded in some, depending on what paper we run and stuff like that. So the main differences are paper, really, rolls versus sheets, but the quality right now are really high end.
Yeah, I remember early in my career when we were a Sheetfed shop, how I used to convince people printing on webs that that was not the right move, because webs were the quality level was not there, which in some cases was true, but that was one of my sales tactics. Yeah, which they've tried to do to me.
Sure,
but we've been in the web market now close to 20 years. No more. A little over 20 years we've been in the web market. Started with a half web, then got into a full web. And like you said, we've invested in the latest equipment at that point, and quality level between Sheetfed and web are pretty identical. It's like for like products. So I mean, those days of oh, the web printing, you're not going to get the quality. That's
right.
At least in our setup here, it doesn't.
And now we've kind of turned that around, right?
Yeah.
Because now we're saying, okay, on those larger run jobs, let us put it on the web because our quality is exceptional, and we're buying good paper, which we'll talk about, some of that stuff that we talk about, the technical aspect of it, but we buy quality paper, so your product is a high-level product. It's not the old days where it was just
newspaper, kind of grimy.
Correct.
Most web outfits nowadays, I mean, are have produce pretty decent work. So
yeah, we have to.
We pride ourselves with the work that we produce there.
Absolutely.
I think our customers do too. I mean, we've saved a lot of customers a lot of money over the years, switching them from a sheet-fed product to a web product because it fits, because the quantity typically that you should be on a web press. So we've shown customers a lot of savings over the years.
Absolutely. And that's one of the topics that we touch is about the benefits of the sheet-fed versus the web. And obviously, like you just said, the benefit of the web is when you get to those higher quantity runs, the efficiency off the web, it prints and folds in line, so it's very efficient. So we kind of bypass the bindery if we can. If it's a folded signature, it comes off, it's very automated, very efficient, minimal waste, and it goes right from there to either the stitch or the perfect binder. So that's where we kind of, like he's mentioned, we've been able to save our customers a lot of money and time and being very efficient. But that's something that we take a lot of pride in, right? We analyze the job. Where does it fit best? Does it fit on our sheet-fed presses, or does it fit on the web press? And then we identify that and we quote it accordingly. But that's, those are some of the benefits. And then the sheet-fed presses that we have that we invested in the last 5 years.
Yeah, the last 5 years we invested in the 6 color and the 10 color. So again, differences between the two presses are, one is high speed, which is a web. Just give a kind of speed-wise, web's running, depending on the product, call it 45 to 50,000 impressions an hour. Sheet-fed is running 14 to 15,000 impressions an hour. So there's a big speed difference there. The paper's more cost-effective on the web because it comes in rolls. That's how it's produced at the mill. For the most part, most of the items that go into producing something on the web are more cost effective than the sheet-fed, but then there is products that don't fit the web for paper reasons, size reasons, things like that. So that's when they go into the sheet-fed. So the sheet-feds have the ability to run thicker stocks, some unique finishes like with the UV coatings and all types of textured coatings and things like that. So I mean, that's something that sheet-fed could do versus the web cannot. So those are kind of some of the basic things.
And then we have the best, the best of both. So we run a lot of publications and directory work that we run the text on the webs because they're efficient to come off folded, but the thicker covers, like you mentioned, the UVs and things like that, we run them on the sheet-fed. So they kind of, it's a beautiful symphony. They run on the web, on the sheet-fed, and then they marry up in the bindery, and then off comes a finished product. So we have the efficiencies of doing them both on what makes the most sense.
And that's one of the things that helps us stand out, kind of in our regional market, is that not a lot of people have. A lot of companies have either or. They don't have both. So we could work with a customer that has a multitude of different types of work that fits one press or the other, and we could produce it all here. So that's kind of some of the things that set us apart, I feel, from our competitors out there.
And our core business, is very, we're very versatile, and we have a wide range of customers. Some of our education, so they do a lot of booklets, right? So they do both web and sheet-fed. Our healthcare, a lot of mailers and stuff like that. So that's stuff on the sheet-fed for the most part because it's on a thicker stock, and you can print a lot of them up. So we try to balance that, our type of work, our clients' needs, and put it on the right presses accordingly, and then give them the best possible product at the best possible price and time. Efficiency, time efficiency.
Yeah. So I mean, kind of covered a lot of the points here, but the web again comes out folded. Sheet-fed doesn't. So I mean, that's a big bonus on larger run jobs. But again, they both got their fit and their niche in the market. we have the perfector press, which is a big advantage for us. Allows us to print both sides of the sheet at the same time. So that's a big advantage we have here at Solo.
Yeah.
And then, you want to touch a little bit on what kind of environmental impact our sheet feds have?
Oh, absolutely, because that's something that we take a lot of pride in the last, 8, 10, 12 years, the 12 years that I've been here. We've seen that growth and that direction starting from the top to really make an effort all across in every department, with sustainability efforts, environmental efforts, recycling efforts, all that stuff that we've seen and we've grown, especially in our, in our presses. Our presses are very efficient, and it all starts in pre-press. We were very, very smart. I may add that we have our image setters. We have, a lot of equipment out on the floor, but our image setters are versatile enough to do the plates for all those presses. Yeah. Very efficient. Yeah. And we have redundancies, which really helps us to stay up and running and not have downtime. So our presses are all very efficient. Our low make-ready sheets, are efficient.
Yeah, even the webs. I mean,
the webs are
they're still newer, kind of quote-unquote webs, and they are efficient compared to the older webs from.
Oh yeah.
Even that's going back as far as the 80s, maybe 90s. The make-ready times are minimal compared to those presses. How many sheets we got to use? So, and on the Sheetfed, we're up to color and nothing. A couple hundred sheets, 100 sheets or 150 sheets, I think at most. So yeah, that's definitely an advantage that we have, and the way we look at every job differently, and some jobs are a fit for both, but some fit better than the other. So our estimating team does a really good job of trying to identify where it's more cost effective to run, if it's on the web or the Sheetfed. So that's a bonus that I think our customers get, that we have the ability to offer both, so they can choose which way they want to go. We have several recent cases that I could remember where high page count catalogs historically were, by this customer I'm thinking of, was run on Sheetfed press, that he had been running there for over 10 years. His product kept growing, the page count kept growing, the quantity kept growing. And when we called on him, he gave us a shot, and he called us to make sure the price was correct.
Right.
Because it was not quite half, but close to half the price.
Yeah.
Again, because it kept growing, and he didn't know any better, and his vendor at that time, that's all they had to offer. So, they kept it going there, but we saved him close to 50% on what he was paying. This is a catalog he produces multiple times a year, so we're saving him a whole lot of money, a couple $100,000 if I'm not mistaken. So those are, that's where, we really try to be a partner for our customers, and not just, not just push work through. At some point things get too big for us too, and there has been times that we need to suggest to a customer, hey, you may want to look at other options or split up the work just because it's not a proper fit, and and they're overpaying. And I think that's something that we stand behind and that our customers appreciate, because we're looking out for their interests. We obviously want to put work through the shop, but at some point you do have to kind of watch out for what we're doing.
Absolutely, because if not, they don't find out from us. They'll find out from someone else.
Bad.
And that's bad. Yeah. And another one I'll share with you, because it just happened recently, talking about the efficiencies and our make-readies and our speeds, is that we had a customer that came out from out of town, and she's wonderful, but she was just amazed that she was here for a couple of days and on press, and every time she'd go downstairs to go sign off on a sheet, she was like itching to make a move, because she's like, by the time she got to press, our pressman already had made adjustments and we're up to color, and she was just like, I feel like I gotta do something to justify my being here. So it was that feeling of like, again, she was wonderful, but she was just like, Lorenzo, I have to kind of do something. I have to make a move, or yellow or magenta or cyan, just to kind of justify her being here. But it goes back to the efficiencies and the quality that we have coming off the presses.
Yeah, part of that, I think, is, there's obviously the presses are a big part of it, but I think our staff, we have good, knowledgeable staff. From pre-press is first step. Yep. And we have some great pressmen that have a good eye for color.
That's right.
So yeah, press checks aren't what they used to be.
No, they're not. They're not. But
a lot easier. So
they
that's
are
for sure.
They are. But it all starts with us. 'Cause it starts with getting quality paper, quality machines, quality paper, quality inks.
Yeah,
all that
it's
stuff makes a difference.
Yeah,
it all makes a difference.
Yeah, all around. So, I think what else can we cover on this subject?
I think you need to come out and visit us. I think you need to
Yeah, that's
make
one
a
thing
point,
that's one thing that I think customers that they have a vision of what a print shop is or what solo is, and kind of don't realize a lot what it takes to actually produce a work, and the amount of equipment we have, and the amount of space we have. So a lot of times seeing is kind of believing for them.
Agree 100%.
And they leave kind of awed by the amount, how big everything is. And,
Agreed.
So yeah, if you haven't been to a print shop, I would highly suggest you come here, obviously, but
yes.
Visit a print shop, a sizable print shop, so you could kind of understand what it takes for us printers to produce the work that we're producing day in and day out. It's not easy at all.
No, it's not.
So it's a lot of moving parts, a lot of challenges, but that's what keeps it interesting.
Yeah,
that's
right. So go check out a print shop, then come to us and see Solo Printing.
Yeah, we would suggest that.
Yeah, we would.
We run a pretty nice shop here, so I think we're always proud to show our shop to everybody. So I think that's a great thing for us. I think we covered. A lot of the bases. And gave kind of a high level view of what Sheetfed versus web, and kind of where they fit in the market. Again, web, we could go on paper side. We could go from a pretty thin paper, like a 40-pound coated, to 80-pound cover. On the Sheetfeds, we could do 50-pound uncoated or coated to, on our particular presses, a 24-point. So it gives us. It could go a lot thicker on the Sheetfeds for some signage type work, or anything like that. So,
but we cover all the bases. We can cover the whole gamut.
And we have our digital department. So even for the smaller runs, the short runs, the variable data runs, that's again we've over the years kind of gone bringing everything in so that we can cover and be a complete shop and cover at least most of the bases for our typical clients. I think we'll continue adding more equipment, more capabilities as time goes, and the market changes. But right now, I think we're in a pretty good place in the market with what we have and what we offer. And we have a great team from start to finish. So come take a look at us whenever you get a chance. Our website has a good amount of content and videos as well that you could kind of see some tours of the plant and the facility that kind of give you a bird's eye view of the plant. But we always encourage and welcome our customers and our prospects to come and look at us and see kind of who we are, meet us, see our staff out there, and experience a little bit of what the Solo way is. So I think if we have any questions, any further questions on kind of what Sheetfed/web differences are, or if you have anything that considering switching to one or the other, reach out to your account executive, and they'd be happy to kind of walk you through and help you and show you some options. We have options, which is a good thing. So, check us out, like our page, and follow us. And we'll be back next month with our next podcast.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.